In this module, we will learn about the new product development process. As we understood, new product launches are extremely important for any firm that seeks success. The entire process of new product development and its launch can take up to 12 months or even more time depending on the complexity of the product and the scope of its launch. In general, it can be understood that there are 8 steps in new product development process. It starts with idea generation as the first step. So at the start of any new product development process, the company needs ideas. They need to brainstorm bring out a lot of ideas so that a couple of them can be taken further. The most promising ones can be taken further. At this stage of idea generation, no ideas are really shot down. All the ideas are considered together without any rejection, and it is at the next stages that the ideas are screened.
After studying this module, we shall be able to understand the effort that lies behind introducing new offering in the market, learn the step-by-step process of new product development, know about various sources of idea generation, appreciate the need for collaboration of various departments in the entire new product development process. Before we move on to the steps of new product development process, let us understand why well-formulated processes are needed. The key purpose of the new product development pipeline is to create a structured, transparent process that allows management of the project group. And the key elements include quality, capability, and capacity. In terms of quality, the innovation team strives to select projects that, if successful, will deliver the best strategic outcome for the invested funds. For capability, the process helps track how effectively an individual project is managed and allowed to progress. Capacity refers to how the business manages and prioritizes resources supporting a portfolio of well-managed projects. This given diagram shall help us understand the process of new product development as typically carried out by firms. There is a sequence of steps to be followed with each stage presenting decisions to be made in turn, taking the firm closer to the final launch. The process requires close cross-functional collaboration to make product launch a success. As we can see in the diagram, the steps in the new product development process are idea generation, idea screening, developing concept, developing marketing strategy, analyzing business feasibility, developing the product, test marketing, launching the product. Now let us look at each step individually. Step 1 is idea generation. The launch of a new product requires several new ideas. The aim should be to brainstorm and generate as many ideas as possible without rejecting any at initial stage. Firms may employ many sources for idea generation, which will be discussed in detail. One of the many sources is customers. This can be best starting point as customers are likely to share their experiences in the particular product category and based on those give ideas about improvement in existing products. Ideas originating from customers can lead to development of products that are widely accepted on their launch. There is a common misconception that customer research does not work when assessing truly innovative ideas. It is sometimes believed that a product is too futuristic or only certain types of consumers will understand it. Therefore, it may be considered as not feasible to launch. However, this can be overcome if research and testing are done fairly. If consumers are educated in the right manner, it is possible to obtain a reliable answer regarding interest in a highly innovative idea. Let us take each method in detail. Surveys can be conducted to understand customer need. However, customers are not always able to express what they desire, and therefore, this process requires careful questioning and discussion. Qualitative research and observation techniques prove more useful than direct questioning or surveys. With concise and straightforward questionnaires, one can analyze a sample group that represents the target market. The larger the sample, the more reliable the results will be. In-person surveys are one-on-one interviews typically conducted in high-traffic locations such as shopping malls. They allow one to present people with samples of product, packaging, or advertising and gather immediate feedback. In-person surveys can generate response rates of more than 90%, but they are costly. Telephone surveys are less expensive than in-person surveys but costlier than mail. However, due to customer resistance to relentless telemarketing, convincing people to participate in telephone surveys has grown increasingly difficult. They are much cheaper than in-person and phone surveys, but they only generate response rates of 3% to 15%. Despite the low return, mail surveys remain cost-effective choice for small businesses. Online surveys usually generate unpredictable response rates and unreliable data because you have no control over pool of respondents. But an online survey is simple, inexpensive way to collect evidence and gather customer opinions and preferences. In focus groups, a moderator uses a scripted series of questions or topics to lead a discussion among a group of people. These sessions take place in neutral locations, usually at facilities with videotaping equipment and an observation room with one-way mirrors. A focus group usually lasts 1 to 2 hours and it takes at least 3 groups to get balanced results. Like focus groups, personal interviews include unstructured, open-ended questions. They usually last for about an hour and are typically recorded. Focus group and personal interviews provide more subjective data than surveys. The results are not statistically reliable, which means that they usually don't represent a large enough segment of the population. Nevertheless, focus groups and interviews yield valuable insight into customers' attitudes and are excellent ways to uncover issues related to new product or service development. Individual responses to surveys and focus groups are sometimes at odds with people's actual behavior. When you observe customers in action by videotaping them in stores, at work, or at home, you can observe how they buy or use a product. This gives you a more accurate picture of customers' usage, habits, and shopping patterns. Placing a new product in selected stores to test customer response under real life selling conditions can help one make product modification, adjust prices, or improve packaging. Small business owners should try establish rapport with local store owners and websites that can help them test their product. Moving on, the next idea generation point, one of the greatest assets of any company is their employee base. The company can look within to generate ideas for new products. Employees can prove to be a rich source of ideas. Certain companies have instituted entrepreneurship programs wherein employees are given freedom to work on an idea apart from their regular job responsibilities. And if found lucrative, such an idea can be pursued by the company. Entrepreneurship is responsible for a lot of product innovation around the world today. You would be surprised to know that entrepreneurs developed a number of famous aircraft designs, and at 3M, they came up with post-it notes, and at Google, they came up with Google News, AdSense, and Gmail. Let us take some more examples of this. At LinkedIn, employees can come up with a new idea once each quarter, put a team together, and pitch their ideas to the executive team. If their idea is approved, they are able to spend up to 3 months' time dedicated to turning the idea into something that benefits the company. At DreamWorks, they can take this a step further by actually teaching their employees how to formulate their pitch and then allowing them to practice in front of executives, something hundreds have already taken advantage of. At Facebook, many startups they have hackathons where they can encourage engineering teams to collaborate on software projects. The like button, one of the most important innovations in the company's history, was the product of a hackathon. One of the most successful examples of using employee base is Google. Google's Innovation Time of Entrepreneurship program empowers and encourages Google's employees to spend 20% of their time on work projects that interest them and they think will benefit Google and their customers. If an employee has great technical idea, they don't have to clear it with a boss. Instead, a Google entrepreneur is empowered to take their idea to their fellow Google engineers. This program allows good ideas to spread fast and encourages collaboration. Study competition is one of the effective ways to generate the idea. Companies can look within their industry for new trends and develop products along these lines. Similarly, products successful in international market can be developed as suited for domestic markets. Let us make this point clear with an example. Britannia NutriChoice has become a pioneer in the Indian biscuit market by offering the elusive combination of a health with taste value proposition to an emerging set of health conscious and discerning consumers. This case study analyzes the evolution of the NutriChoice brand over the last decade and examines various strategies adopted by Britannia to grow the brand into its present market leading position. Until late 1990s, health awareness among Indian consumers was limited, as was the segment of consumers who made conscious attempt to stay healthy. Most health-conscious consumers were seniors who suffered from various age-related diseases, heart diseases, and/or diabetes. Also, healthier foods were generally sorted only in case of specific health problems. As a result, food and beverage manufacturers in India mostly kept health foods with medicinal positioning exclusive from their normal product offerings. It was only during the mid 1990s that Indian consumers' orientation towards health and well being started to witness a gradual transformation. Over the years, Indian perceptions have changed and consumers have become more accepting of eating foods to maintain their health, including healthy biscuits. Britannia has benefited from this change and still enjoys the benefits of being one of the first movers in terms of marketing products with the help of focused health platform in India. This has boosted NutriChoice brands, consumer recalls and acceptance in India. The next technique that can be used in idea generation is the distribution channel. Members can also be very helpful. Retailers are more in touch with end users and understand their needs more closely. Suppliers interact with many other companies and can suggest good ideas through their better reach. Distribution strategy also delivers the information and service the prospect needs. It can provide various customer information like how and where they prefer to buy, whether they need personalized education and training, whether they need additional products or services to be used along with yours, whether your product needs to be customized or installed, whether your product needs to be serviced.
The second stage of new product development process is idea screening. At this stage, what is done is that all the ideas generated in the first stage of idea generation are screened for their feasibility and how promising they are to be carried forward to the next stage. This screening can be done by a committee of members from various departments in the organization that will be affected by the new product launch. So it will be managers from research and development team, marketing team, sales team, and so on. This group judges each idea for its merit and its overall feasibility, and very few ideas actually cross this stage to go on to the next stage of development.
The second step in new product development process is idea screening. All ideas gathered in the previous stage need to be filtered before they can go ahead in the product development process. At this stage, each idea is assessed by a committee or a group of persons assigned this task. The factors that help in idea screening are as follows. Marketing factors include potential market size, compatibility of market image with companies' product lines, relationship to competing products, compatibility with existing or specified market channels, access to suitable physical distribution systems, fits into acceptable pricing structure, relationship to promotional methods and resources, marketing resources needed to produce success. Production factors include compatibility with existing product lines, availability of processing equipment, availability of raw material and ingredients, availability of technical skills to produce the product, availability of production time, agreement with legal requirements, cost and availability of new resources required. Development factors include knowledge needed for development, available knowledge and skills, available time and human resources, development funds needed and available, compatibility with existing strengths, development difficulties and risks of failure. Financial factors include compatibility of development costs with financial resources, capital investment resources needed and available, finance needed and available for market launch and ongoing product support, profit or returns on investment required. People involved in idea screening. The initial screening is carried out by company staff with a simple pass-fail on the aim, constraints, and other crucial factors. Once product descriptions are written, it is important to involve the consumer or in industrial and food service marketing the customer. Company personals are also involved, again in groups or by a survey. It is often useful to have individual people from different areas of the company to score the product ideas. The final screening is of course done by top management at the end or the first stage based on feasibility studies or the final product. Ideas that go forward from this stage will all involve investment of time, money, and efforts, so only the most favorable ones are considered and taken through the consecutive steps.
The third stage, which is developing the new concept. Now, once the promising ideas are selected, a concept is developed for each of those ideas. And the question now changes from will this work to how to make this work. Concept development stage makes things much more concrete. The issues of what exact features and benefits a product will have, they are discussed. Whether the production can be carried out in a cost effective way, smoothing out any intellectual property rights issues or any patent issues, and apart from that, a serious thought on design aspects of the product is also given.
The next step involves developing a concept. At this stage, the question shifts from will this work to how to make this work? Concept development makes things more concrete. It requires serious thought on design aspects of product, how the production can be made most cost effective, smoothing out any intellectual property rights or patent issues, exact features the product shall have, the benefits it shall provide, and so on. Very often, a prototype is developed at this stage and it is tested for its feasibility. Some firms also go in for marketing research at the concept development stage to get direct feedback from the end users and based on their suggestions, either modify the product or if that is not possible, then drop it altogether. This way, they avoid facing major improvement costs later on and go forward with a winning product, one that is more suited to customer needs.
Next to the concept development stage is the stage where a marketing strategy needs to be developed for a concept that is finalized. Marketing strategy requires thought on the planned value proposition of the product, level of sales and market share projected for the first 3 to 5 years, the planned pricing strategy for the product, the distribution strategy, and the overall marketing budget.
Now we have the most important part, that is, developing the marketing strategy. This step broadly consists of the following elements: spelling out the target market details, location, demographic, lifestyle, main decision maker for the purchase, and so on. The planned value proposition for the product, how the product shall be positioned in the market, and what value it seeks to provide to customers. Level of sales and market share projected for the first 3 to 5 years, the planning pricing strategy, distribution, and marketing budget.
The fifth stage in new product development process is that of analyzing the business feasibility of a new product. A complete business feasibility analysis needs to be undertaken. The business attractiveness of the concept as a whole needs to be judged. There are projections made about costs, sales, profit, and they are studied carefully and seen whether they fall in line with the company objectives or not. These metrics can also be judged on the basis of advanced statistical tools.
The next step in the process is analyzing the business feasibility. A complete business feasibility analysis is undertaken and business attractiveness of a concept as a whole is scrutinized. The projections made about costs, sales, and profit are studied to see if they fall in line with the company's objective. The primary focus of business analysis stage is to determine whether the product idea will ultimately be profitable or not. However, while this is the primary consideration, it is not the only consideration. Social and environmental issues are frequently considered as well, particularly if there are certain regulations that the companies must adhere to in these realms. The first step in business analysis process is to examine the projected demand for the product. While the main source of revenue would be product sales, another possible significant source of revenue is the licensing of the technology generated as a byproduct of the given product. Clearly, this is not applicable to all products, but for certain classes of product, this can be a very significant source of income. A complete cost appraisal is also necessary as a part of business analysis. As you can expect, it is difficult to anticipate all the costs that will be involved in product development. However, the following cost items are typical. Expected development cost, including both technical and marketing R&D. Expected setup costs, production, equipment, distribution. Operating costs that account for possible economies scale and learning curves. Marketing costs, especially promotional and distribution. Management costs. Based on these costs, the business analysis stage will estimate the likely selling price. This figure will also depend on the level of competition as well as customer feedback. Sales volume must also be estimated based on the size of the market. Ultimately, profitability and the estimated break-even point can be derived. This relates to the viability and feasibility of products that companies are considering to add to their line. This is the last stage at which the product can actually be dropped. Going forward from here means a drastic increase in expenditures, and then abandoning it would result for losses for the firm.
The sixth step is developing the product in itself. Now at this stage, the costs of new product development process take a huge jump, because right now, until now, all the concept and the new product was on paper, and developing the new product takes it to the next level on making the actual prototype of the product. The research and development team develops the product first, sees that it is satisfactory, and if it is so, it is taken forward into large scale production.
Now that all the preliminary research has been done and feasibility of the product is established, we move to the most important step, that is, developing the product. At this level, the concept is turned into actual physical product. The research and development team develops the product first, and if it is satisfactory, it is put into production process for larger scale production. This stage requires many aspects to come together seamlessly: collaboration from suppliers, involvement of quality management team, scheduling of production operations, resource and logistic planning, and reviewing action as per plan. With any new product, there is a risk that customer might not want the product being produced. This risk is typically higher when a new product ideas are based on availability of new technologies or on owners' own inspiration rather than being customer led. During the development process, the owner may need to overcome technical hurdles. There are also likely to be a range of other operational risks. For example, ensuring that there is secure supply of reliable components. Also, there is a financial risk if the product doesn't generate sufficient demand at price that is profitable. New product development is an essential part of any business strategy, although New product development carries risks. Not developing new products is even riskier. Over time, competing products will outperform, and existing customer of any firm might shift to other firm.
The seventh step in the new product development process is that of test marketing. The test marketing stage is important because it allows the firm to test all aspects of the new product before it is finally launched in the market. Test marketing involves introducing the new product and its marketing strategy in the market at a smaller scale than the normal launch scale, and then checking each and every aspect of the product, its price, its distribution strategy, promotion on a smaller scale. The entire marketing program in this way can be tested, and any changes that need to be made or any corrections can be taken care of before the product is finally launched. The stage of test marketing saves the firm a lot of costs and effort before the final product launch, as any corrections can be made at this stage.
After the product has been developed, it is time for test marketing of the product. Test marketing involves introducing the product and the marketing strategy at a small scale first to gauge response to the product launch before going out with commercialization. At this stage, marketers are able to test entire marketing program, pricing, distribution, promotion, positioning, advertising, packaging, and branding along with the product for its effectiveness, and it can be fine-tuned for launch at a larger scale. Armed with this learning experience, marketers are more confident about a full-scale launch. Besides, a test marketing program saves them the expense of a major marketing mistake later on. Further, test marketing is of three types. In increasing order of costs involved, simulated test market, with testing done in a simulated shopping environment with a sample of customers. Controlled test market, where the marketer decides on a few stores that carry the new item for a given period of time for a fee. Full-scale test market, where the product and marketing program are launched in a couple of representative cities before a national level launch.
This brings us to the last step of new product development process, which is the final launch of the product. It is also called the commercialization stage, and at this stage, based on the test marketing results, the product is finally launched into the market. The company will consider questions of whether the timing is correct for the product to be launched, how competitors are placed at the time of the launch, their expected reaction, and whether to launch the product in phases or simultaneously in one go in all the locations.
The final step in new product development process is launching the product. Based on test marketing result, the entire commercialization program is launched by marketers. They may consider questions such as whether the timing is right for the product launch, how competitors are placed, their expected reactions, and whether to launch the product in a phased manner or complete rollout simultaneously everywhere. While the above steps clarify the entire process of new product development, most firms these days prefer to follow a parallel approach rather than the sequential step by step model. This is due to the fact that product life cycles have become shorter and competition is more intense. So, firms need to act faster. Working on various activities of product development simultaneously allows firms to reduce overall development time. Another benefit of this is that it allows interaction and iteration between different department and functional areas working on a new product development together. This leads to an improvement in overall quality of the process. Now let us understand the process of new product development process with the help of Cadbury sweep case. The case study focuses on the launch of Cadbury's Fuse. In the face of strong competition from well-known brands in already busy market sector, the launch of Fuse represented a significant investment in a new brand. The idea was generated and screened by studying the market and competition. The chocolate confectionery market has been characterized by the dominance of a number of well-established brands such as Cadbury's Dairy Milk, Mars Bar, and Kit Kat. Although some brands enjoy a rich heritage, the key need in a busy and developed market sector is innovation, not just of existing brands, but also in the development of completely new brands. Brand-led innovation is a vital component in the growth of this market as it enables organizations to build competitive advantage. In the confectionery business, Cadbury Schweppes is the world's fourth largest supplier of chocolate and sugar confectionery. The group has manufacturing plants in 25 countries and sales in a further 165. Cadbury Limited is Cadbury Schweppes UK confectionery operation, and it is responsible for the production of all Cadbury's best known UK brands. Market research has revealed that snacks play more of a functional role than one of pure indulgence. They are often a meal substitute. Research also shows that successful snack brands in the confectionery category tend to have a more foodie value and often contain ingredients such as cereal, wafer, biscuits, peanuts, and fruits to break up the chocolate delivery. Then the concept was developed. Cadbury set out with two objectives for development of Fuse: to grow the market for chocolate confectionery, to increase Cadbury's share of the snacking sector. The Fuse concept was developed after market research identified the growth of snacking and a definite gap in the market for a more chocolatey snack. A number of ingredients were devised and tested following a survey which questioned consumers about their snacking habits and preferences. A research and development team was then asked to develop a number of product recipes which addressed the needs expressed by the consumers. Not all products successfully emerge from the product development phase. Any new product in the snacking sector must establish points of difference from the existing products within the market, thus creating a unique selling proposition (USP). That is, a product with unique appeal which is not shared by any of its competitors. As products are developed, they must be tested to ensure that consumers would be willing to buy them. Approximately 85% of all new products launched into grocery and allied trade sectors fail in their first year. Extensive research helps to reduce the risk of launching a new product into an already competitive market. Fuse went through two extensive in-home placement tests. The results for these tests were multiplied to repeat purchase and purchase frequency figures to allow Cadbury to anticipate the volume of bars required for launch of Fuse and post-launch. Then the product was finally launched. The launch strategy of any new product is critical. Cadbury has two targets for its products: trade customers who stock the product and customers who buy it. In recent years, product launching has become an art which can either make or break a product. A successful launch makes potential customers aware of the new product and keen to try it. There were certain essential key requirements to the coordination of the launch. Secrecy has to be paramount. Marketers who had identified the gap in the market had to work closely with individuals from research and development as well as other external agencies. Manufacturing operations, in conjunction with marketing and finance, had to evaluate a new factory investment for board approval. Within just 1 week of launch, a record 40 million Fuse bars were sold into trade market, and within 8 weeks of sale, Cadbury's Fuse was the UK's favourite confectionery line, outselling both Mars Bar and Kit Kat by 20% and capturing an astonishing 6.5% of handheld confectionery product sales. This case study has examined Cadbury's ability to use innovation in a developed and a crowded marketplace. There were three clear elements in this process: the use of consumer research to identify a significant market opportunity, product research and development combined with extensive consumer testing, massive trade and consumer hype generated by a national launch. The new product development process typically consists of 8 steps, which allow for elimination of infeasible ideas and further fine-tuning of concepts, products that are chosen to be developed. Idea generation. There can be many sources of new ideas including customers, employees, channel members, competitors, and following industry trends. Idea screening, filtering infeasible ideas from the set of new ones generated in the previous step through brainstorming. Developing a concept, developing a prototype with serious thought given to design and features. Developing the marketing strategy, spelling out details of target market, positioning, pricing, distribution strategy, and marketing communications. Analyzing its business feasibility, projecting initial level costs, sales, and profit to make sure the concept is economically viable. Developing the product, working on creating the actual physical product, test marketing, testing the new product and marketing strategy at a smaller scale to get feedback and rectify any errors, launching the product, commercializing the product, and managing its launch process. Each step is crucial in its own right and requires sound decision making.